Good morning. It is November 24th. It's a Monday. And I just wanted to start introducing you guys to what it's like to be where I am. And I'm not really good at it because I'm more of a hermit. I like to call me a cave dweller. So forgive me in advance if I stumble around and am redundant or my babble button gets stuck and go on tangents that are totally unintended. But I just wanted to help you guys see what it's like and hopefully understand that because I know I'm exactly where God wants me, I'm really confident in that. I'm good. It's crazy. I'm laughing because it's crazy to say. I'm living in my car with 2 dogs, and I'm good. This morning already, I did what I have to do every morning. I get the girls out so they can pee, and I feed them, and I go to the gas station so I can get hot water for my coffee. And the biggest pain in the rear in the mornings is I have to go. I don't know if you can see. Let me move this. I have to stretch all the way over there on the other side of that crate to get sugar for my coffee. Because, let me show you here. This little stinker, Mia, here, has not only taken over the entire front seat, almost the entire front seat, she, a couple weeks ago, I had some sugar packets, and it's sugar in the raw, so it's not too bad, but I had about 10 of them in the cup holder here, and she ate them, paper and all. So I've learned to keep stuff like that out of. She never did stuff like that, but the dog's 13 and a half years old, and in her entire life has never done something like that. But so I've got to put the sugar way over there, so when I'm not in the car, she can't reach it. But I kind of just, after I feed the girls, and then I get into my prayer and study time, and I just enjoy another beautiful morning that, it says, God's mercies are new every morning, and rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice. I love how Paul repeats that. And then I get ready for the day. A lot of days during the weeks, I help out one of my old neighbors. I help him out around his house or around the other house that he has there in Stowe for his daughter. And at the nighttime, a few nights a week, I babysit for his daughter. And that's, other than trying to sell the stuff in my storage unit, and I just keep myself open for any encounters that, excuse me. One time, or actually a few times, there's a pasta salad that Mark sells that is just phenomenal. So I go there quite frequently. And I'm standing at the deli, and there's always an opportunity. I ran into a guy one time because he was commenting on something that I had on my sweatshirt. And here he already knows a lot of the people at the church I go to, so that was a good encounter. And then there was another time, some lady who just struck up conversation with me, and it was just another opportunity to witness to her. And it just, being out here, the opportunities to help people, to encourage people, it's not that when I was in my home I couldn't do those things. And I'm not going to try to figure out God, but this is where he has me. And it's kind of like Paul in the marketplace. He just didn't get a lot of shopping done because he was witnessing to people at literally with every step and almost every breath. And I'm compelled in the same manner. In fact, just like Paul says, in Philippians 4:12, I know how to be brought low. I know how to abound in any and every circumstance. I have learned the secret of plenty and hunger, abundance and need. And there's been a lot of things throughout my life that have taught me that. And this is just kind of exercising what God has grown in me all these years. And I'm loving it. I'm astounded at myself sometimes, because I know how I can be. I mean, we're all human. But those human things haven't tripped me up while I'm out here. I mean, yeah, sure, I have my moments, and, I'm at the Regal right now up in Hudson, and I love there's really nobody up here most of the morning, and there's an access road right behind me that goes up to a power station, and there's a big field in front of where Joanne, I don't know if you probably, most of you aren't local here, but Joanne Fabrics was closed down, and there's just this big field and big parking lot in front of them. And my girls love to walk around here. There's just so much to do, and they love to sniff around, and that helps exercise their mental faculties a bit. The only sad part is I can't let Hanani off her leash so I can throw a ball and, her have some really serious running time. But we make do, and she does well. In fact, she is doing so, and I bragged about that in one of the other videos, so I'll kind of get back to the point. I'm trying to remember what my point was. Oh, it's just to share with you, every circumstance in life, everything that we go through, we've got blessings and struggles. And sometimes, not sometimes, if we look at the struggles as a blessing too, then we're going to grow in it. And that's been my perspective, my God-given perspective in life, because I don't take credit for that stuff. If it was up to me, I'd be curled up in a ball somewhere. But it's been my God-given perspective most of my life. And here we are coming up on Thanksgiving, and most people, I think that's the biggest thing that freaks people out about me. Maybe freaks out is not a good way to put it, but anyway, this people get this look on their face like, you have got to be kidding me that you're okay with this. But most people are used to what is, I guess we would call, the norm. And that's fine. That's all right. That's good. And it doesn't make that good and this bad, or vice versa. But most people think, okay, well, everybody gets together with their families and friends for Thanksgiving. I have had one time in, I'm going to say 20 years that I've had, well, a Thanksgiving with a family. And before that, it was just me and my kids. And after my kids were no longer with me, it was just me and my dogs. I've always had at least one dog with me. And it sounds horrible, but so for 30 some years or more, actually, my oldest daughter is 38. Why is it when we get older, it's harder to remember how old our kids are? But anyway, and I don't get sad about it. It does. I must admit this. I'm very curious as to why I'm always the person that's always out of sight, out of mind, or, I've got a friend that is a dear soul. I've loved her for 34 years. We have never had Thanksgiving or Christmas or even kids' birthdays together. A couple of times her daughter invited me to her son's birthday. But other than that, it's just, we've had two heavily divided. Oh, and one other time I went to a wedding celebration for one of her sons. He had gotten married elsewhere and came back here, and she had a celebration for him, because her family's like all over the map. But even my closest friends don't invite me into their families. I don't know why. The only part that makes me care about it is I'm curious. It would be nice to understand why. But aside from that, I've gotten so accustomed for over 30 years now, it being just, way back when, me and my kids, and then, later on, just me and my dogs, that's what I look forward to. It's like all you guys, you're looking forward to complaining because the kitchen's so hot and nobody will get out of your way and you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. That's great. I hope you have a beautiful and blessed time, and I mean that sincerely. But in the same manner, you look forward to that and look forward to seeing family, maybe from, out of state or whatever, people that you don't see regularly enough, and you get to spend that time with them. That's awesome. But in the same way you look forward to that, I look forward to, all morning until about noon, I fast and pray and get into the Word. And then come noon, years ago, I discovered that on Thanksgiving Day, they have the National Dog Show. That to me is a huge treat. Except I need to get, I don't know if you're old enough to remember those TV bricks. They looked like bricks, but they were sponges. And when you get mad at the TV, you could throw them at the TV without, killing your TV. I need to get those because some of the judges are just a little off. But other than that, I very much look forward to the fact that nobody calls me or anything. And it's just me and my dogs watching the dog show. And again, I understand that sounds crazy to most people. And I also want to say thank you so much. There's been so many people at my church that has invited me into their family. And it's unusual for me because there are so many people like, oh no, come here. We'd like to have, your family. We're going to, have Thanksgiving with you and stuff. And I hope I didn't hurt any feelings about, no thank you. And my pastor even took me aside and he's like, are you sure you don't want to spend Thanksgiving with us? Like, yeah. And I mean, it's not that I don't want to spend it with you. It's that I just want to do what I'm accustomed to doing. I look forward to it. And I'm, hoping that even if you don't fully understand it, I'm hoping to open people's eyes to, a little bit different perspective. And in fact, I've always been one of those people that nobody invites anywhere, except for now at the church. I've got like 5 families saying, no, come here, which again is just, it warms my heart. And I don't need to spend the next 15 minutes talking about that. I'm trying to remember why I got on here. I just wanted to share with you guys I don't know if you'd call it my morning routine or, or what, but just understand that God is moving his people into, I don't know if you'd call it a season, a phase. I think a season would be a better way to describe it, where he's really putting on the pressure to grow us in ways we didn't think we could or wouldn't even have thought of. And I think my life is a little bit of an example to that, or for that. And not that y'all are going to lose your houses and be living in your cars, but I see so much that he's doing in so many people's lives. And it's just really difficult to put into words, especially when I'm trying to keep this under 20 minutes here. But it's a beautiful thing to behold. And if we just, get, I think that's Philippians 4:12. It's not really a big secret how to be content in all circumstances. It's just that confidence, that assurance that we have in Christ, that no matter where we are, no matter what's going on, we could have a tornado swirling around us and we're right in the eye of it because we have his peace and assurance. And I love that one story where one of the times that Jesus said, "Let us go across to the other side," after I think he fed the 5,000 with the fish and loaves and stuff. But he tells the disciples, "Let us go across to the other, get in the boat and go across to the other side." Him saying, "Let us go across to the other side," he was declaring, we're going to make it there. And without really essentially saying it like that. And then they get in the boat. Jesus goes to sleep. He's, on a pillow, just kind of hunkered down, totally chill. And a storm brews up, and the same disciples that just witnessed him feed an amazing amount of people with a little itty bitty bit of food start freaking out with this storm. They've got the Savior right in their boat, and they waken him up. What? You don't care if we perish? That's just so. How many people are like that you witness or experience something that God did for you, and then you turn around in the very next struggle or something, you're like, don't you care, God? I love those stories because it's so comforting to see, that, okay, it might not be good, but at least this is normal, right? But even better than that, to remember that Jesus is chill right in your boat. And he said, let us go across to the other side. In other words, you're going to make it to the other side. And God brought that to me, years ago. And that really, how you read a verse and you could read it like 50 times, but there's that one time that really is profound. It was, I think, 25 years ago? That smacked me upside my fat head with that. And it's just, and so I've carried that in my heart, and it's not really a secret, this Philippians 4:12, that you can be, Paul calls it, I have learned the secret of facing plenty and hunger, abundance and need. It's not really a big secret. I mean, it doesn't have to be all mysterious and stuff. It's Jesus said, let us go across the other side. And he laid down and took a nap. And I believe that's his example, that no matter what storms come, if he's in your boat, just go chill with him. When that storm pops up, Jesus said, we're going to make it to the other side. And that's how I've conducted my life for the most part. By God's grace, again, because all of this stuff, I mean, it can't be from any human thing. And I'm hoping that if there's any non-believers that are watching this, that you start seeing the difference that Jesus is. And I mean, just real quick recap for those, if this is your first video of mine watching. In less than a year, my husband died and I lost our home. All my stuff is in storage, and I'm trying to buy a bus so I have more space for my girls and I. And I'm trying to sell everything in storage, and I'm just saying all that to just emphasize how profound it is. I have joy every stinking day. And not just, I'm not going to be too biased, not just with my dogs and I, but this young lady that I'm helping her get some things, straightened around in her house, and helping her dad with his, and babysitting for her. The growth in this family. Oh my God, what God is doing in this young woman's life. And it's even her dad. And I won't embarrass him by going on about that right now. It's just such a beautiful thing when we get that secret is not an elusive thing, and just understand that no matter what's going on in life, if you're a believer, no matter what's going on in life, he's in your boat. He's chilling. So go rest with him. And I will leave you with that for now. And you have a beautifully blessed day. I've been trying to keep these videos a little shorter, but my babble button gets stuck. But I love y'all, and have a wonderful day.